Hey everybody, thank you for joining me again for another video on Success by Design, your comprehensive planning guide for all types of enterprises series. Before we jump into this next chapter, which is going to focus on organizational charts and job descriptions, I just want to remind you that you can access the book and the companion workbook on our website at successbydesign.biz if you want to jump in and get all of the information at one time and read on some of the actual evidence and details that give you some insights on how to write your business plan. You can also get on our website at successbydesign.biz to access free resources, worksheets, and templates, as well as additional videos to the series. Be sure to follow us, like us, and subscribe on all of our YouTube channels and our platforms such as Facebook, where you can find us at Success by Design Biz for our Facebook handle, and you can also find our YouTube at successbydesign.biz. Again, this is a series that's designed to help you create a business plan, whether it's a nonprofit or for-profit. It should be written out so that you can extract that data and work on execution so you can start, manage, and grow your organization. So let's go ahead and jump into this chapter. This is chapter 6, which focuses on organizational charts and job descriptions. And I love this chapter in the essence for those individuals who are the one-stop shop, do-it-all entrepreneur or business owner. So there's a lot of business owners out there that if they can do it themselves, they're just going to do it. But if you've ever read Rich Dad's Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert T. Kiyosaki, I would recommend that if you haven't, you take time to read Cash Flow, because he talks about the 4 quadrants. And a lot of times as a business owner or even entrepreneur or a leader or manager, we operate in the mindset of employee. This quadrant talks about financial freedom, going from an employee mindset and moving from that quadrant to your 1099 business owner. So you're a contractor from an employee mindset to the 1099 contractor mindset to the business owner mindset, which is where you probably are hiding out or working. But that really requires you to think at a different level. And then it goes on to the final quadrant of that is the investor mindset. So you cannot operate your business from an employee mindset because you're going to be wanting to be the boots on the ground doing everything all the time. You cannot operate from a contractor mindset as well, or even the business owner mindset. But if you are at that business owner mindset, it's very important that you understand that you don't have to wear all the hats. And this is where job descriptions are going to come from. That org chart and job descriptions is so that you can relieve yourself or alleviate yourself from all of the roles and responsibilities of doing all the things, working in the business, to more working on the business and overseeing and managing operations. So you want to work yourself out of it in a way and really consider what your exit strategy looks like so that you become an investor. Your business is making money to invest into other areas of your life. So it's very important that you create a process for duplicating yourself. So you're not working to just the power of yourself. So if you are able to believe in others and train them up to be able to do what you do, you can create a very successful team. So there are some things that I pulled from the Lead Like Jesus book, which is by Ken Blanchard and Phil Hodges. They have another revision done and they have a third author that was on that as well. I like the original personally just because of the format and some of the information I pulled from that. But I am going to reference what they have as the apprentice method. And then Jesus took this when leading. So I'm going to paraphrase it in how I apply the method when I'm training and leading others. So the first thing is I do it and they watch and they learn. So they're really just seeing how it's done. So if you're going to create a training program and you really want somebody to be able to do it the way you do it, let them watch and observe you for a while and make sure you're not cutting any steps out in the process, that you're doing it exactly how you want them to do it so that they pick up that information, they observe, they learn, they can ask questions, they can understand, they're being educated. It's a demonstration. The second step is that we do it together and I correct you as you go. So now we're collaborating, we're working together. I might have you work on a component that I am doing at the same time or whatever that looks like. And we're really just collaborating on what that process looks like. And so you're providing constructive feedback on how they can do it correct. The third step is you do it and I watch. So now that you've gotten them to observe and they've gotten some experience, now it's, hey, here it is. Let me watch you and I'll give you the feedback based on what you're doing and I won't come in and step in and help. And then the final component of it is now that You can do it. I trust you to do it without me. So you've created a system, a process for training them and duplicating yourself. So that's the number one thing. So if you don't know what your own processes and steps are, this is where you're going to write down your standard operating procedures on how to do that. So a good way to get that going so that you're not having to sit and think through it is to write it as you go. So when you're doing something, think in your mind, what's step one? And technology today, you can just record it on a device, and then you can have that recording go into chat and say, hey, based off of these steps that I've just done, create an operational or a standard operational plan specific to this task that I'm completing, so that you have step-by-step instructions that you can hand off when training someone else. So there's a lot of ways that you can work around that. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to talk about as well is your organizational chart. So a sample that I'm going to give you, which is not the end all be all type of organizational chart or even workflow. So keep that in mind. You want to research based on the size of your company, the type of company that you have, because this standard org chart that I'm going to show you may not work for you. So you want to make sure that it's specific to your company. So a standard one that we look at right here, as you can see, is company. You have your executive leadership, and then you have the different departments, which we talked about in the previous videos on the department breakdown. So when it comes to the departments, this is not an exhaustive organizational chart, so you'll have to determine what your departments are for yours. So you're going to use this example as a guide, and you're going to look at the answers that you've gotten from your different operational plans in the prior chapters that we covered. It's important that you identify each individual person that you put into those departments. So when you went and put those team members in, you listed different people who were responsible. There may be the same job type or title that's across the board for different departments, but your job now is to write those down. Okay, so the purpose of a job title and descriptions are succinctly to identify and describe the role, the responsibility, and the level of position within the organization. So creating job descriptions will serve you for clarity, hierarchical positions, skill level, professional identity. It will facilitate talent acquisition, so you know who you're looking for and how to attract them. And it'll also keep you within legal and regulatory requirements. So you're going to review the different human resources titles that were listed in chapter 2 under products and services as well. If you remember, we had you break apart the different steps within your products and services to go over and add the resources. We have human resources, cost of goods, supplies, materials, and consumer needs, but there was a column specific to your human resources. So we want to look at what you wrote down in the operational plans that you wrote for your team members, but you also want to go back to the product and service development side and look at what you wrote down for your human resource needs in the different steps of delivering superior customer service and products and services to your audience. So that information is going to help you organize these job titles by placing them in the right areas of your organizational chart. Okay, so something that you're going to do is you want to list all of these out, maybe put it in an Excel spreadsheet, make sure you type them out exactly the same, and then filter them so that you can see and combine them, and you're not having the same exact job description multiple times, but you can maybe combine them into one. So this is a way for you to create those positions that you need within your organization or merge them. Okay. Once you have done that and you have those specific job titles, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to identify a description. So in 1 to 2 sentences, describe the position, the general purpose, and record this as the job description. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just give an insight for now, because we're going to create it for your job descriptions going. And it's also templates for you to work off of so that you can move forward. The next thing you're going to do is review those steps that you listed in the chapter 2 video of products and services and select specific steps to each person. So you can also do it to where you use that spreadsheet, and next to that job, you list out all of those steps of what they're responsible for, and because you're going to put those specific steps within their job description. So what are the responsibilities? You can also use the workflow process that we did in the operational planning piece. If you listed anything specific from a high level for that department that is specific to that job, you will also put that under the responsibilities as well. So you can see how each of these series builds onto the next one, and you're creating information that's relevant to your organization, to your steps, to your processes, and is not a template or a one-size-fits-all cookie cutter job description. Okay. The next thing you're going to be looking at is qualifications. So this is something you have to decide. You need to consider the educational background, years of experience preferred or required, even if it's by law or by your organization, or quality, technical, hard, and or soft skills required for the position. So you're going to be sure to consider any qualifications that are required by local, state, and federal laws or industry standards as well, so that you can put that in the qualifications component of the job description. The next area that you're going to be looking at is salary and pay structure. So you're going to list the annual salary range and anticipated pay structure for this position. You can research national and local averages online to get a baseline for what you can expect to pay for this position within your area. So I just go in and I research different jobs, and you can even look and see what jobs are in that area are going for right now to give you some sort of idea or range. You may also know based on industry standards, you know, your competitors, what they're paying and offering. Those are things that you need to know. You may not need a full-time staff member and may subcontract or hire out a vendor to perform the duties that you need, but you can still list this information because it helps you consider projected expenses. If you were to hire somebody, what are you going to need to make sure that is allocated or reserves are set aside to be able to pay this staff member as you bring them on, okay? So you want to determine those long-term costs to run your business and the maximum capacity or for financial projections, like I just said. So this is going to help you know how much you need to build in for cash flow reserves to grow your company. So even if you're not hiring people for this, you need this information for long-term projections. These long-term projections, when we get to your financial projections, are also going to help you understand what your break-even points need to be. If you're working at maximum capacity, how much do you need to sell and at what price point? That information is going to come after you detail this information out for who is supposed to be on your team and what are you going to be paying them. So we talk more about that in the financial projections piece and how to take that information and tweak pricing and sales capacity for your product and service development again. So again, all of these components tie back to one another or they build off of one another. So keep that in mind. If you haven't done all of the other prior videos, be sure to go back and start from the beginning. These are in a sequence specifically to help you build on to the next component of your business plan. And these numbers are factual and evidential, data-backed business plans so that you know exactly what it's going to cost you to start, manage, and grow your organization, okay? Another area that we're going to be looking at is benefits. So consider the benefits the position will have in addition to the pay structure. So some things to consider include medical coverage, life insurance, retirement plans, investment opportunities, any PTO, so personal time off, vacations, per diem, any reimbursements, any allowances, and any other perks that are allotted specific to the position. You can connect with a benefits specialist to get rates and ideas for those projected expenses, but you also need to make sure that you're following these local, state, and federal laws regarding benefits too, because sometimes you have it to where if you offer one thing to one person, you have to offer it to everybody. So just keep that in mind that you're not operating within illegal bounds or realms based on giving things away that you cannot necessarily give away, or you're becoming you're put in a position where you might be discriminating against someone else just because of offering specific and exclusive benefits. So keep that in mind. The next area you're going to be looking at is position type. So you're going to consider if this position will be full-time, part-time, remote, if there's travel required, is it hybrid? This is going to help you in setting expectations for the attendance and communication of that individual or staff member that you're bringing on. The next area to consider is reports to. So this is who will be managing this position, and you're going to include responsibilities to manage this person in that manager's job description as well. So if you say that they were reporting to a specific manager, make sure that the manager is also aware that they are responsible for holding this individual accountable. The next piece we're going to be looking at is DOH, date of hire. So consider your timeline from when you would like to hire this individual. Will you hire them part-time or full-time to start, or will you subcontract out the employee until you have a steady revenue? Keep in mind, these are for your internal planning purposes. You can edit these job descriptions, you can merge functions, or change data at any time to fit your enterprise needs. This is a way to build the hiring plan into your planning process, and you can use these projected salaries, pay structures, and benefits to determine your projected expenses in this area and record this information in your financial projections, which we discussed, like I said, again in future videos. I believe we talked about that in chapter 7, so just be looking for the video on your financial projections, okay? So all of that information, all those worksheets, there is a worksheet that you can get that actually is a job description template that goes over each of those things. You can make sure that you use the worksheets to help you fill out job descriptions, print out as many as you need for that template. Again, if you want more detail on anything that I've covered, you can watch the video again, or you can go and purchase your copy of the Success by Design your comprehensive planning guide for all types of enterprises book and the companion workbook, Success by Design workbook, to get the additional insights on how to write these job descriptions and organizational chart. I also go in the book and talk a little bit more about how you can take that information, updated for future references, again, and how important it is. And then there are other books that you can access, Success by Design, Implementation and Accountability, which goes over how to make sure that you're setting up the right HR practices so that you can train and onboard appropriately for the right positions. So thank you so much for listening. Please stay tuned for any additional videos that come out, and be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook handle, Success by Design Biz, B-I-Z, or you can find us at successbydesign.biz. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.